You never do. A man never loses that. Are you content with the wife? Of course you can be content. Being content is not the opposite of desiring another woman. That's another myth. If you totally loved your wife, you would not be attracted to another woman. Attraction is a psychobiological reality. The fact that my wife is a good woman, she protects me, she loves me, she takes care of the children, she's everything that I want, sexually she's the bomb, that doesn't stop me from being attracted to another woman. That ain't got nothing to do with it. I could totally be content with my wife and still be attracted to another woman because it's a man's nature. We need married men to stop lying. My thing is this. I don't expect no man in front of their wife to say that once in a while I get attracted to another woman. Because it might not be all the time. It might be once in a while. I don't expect him to say it, but I need him to be quiet. I don't want him to lie. Just don't speak on it. Because once you speak on it, now you're creating a false reality in the minds of black women. They don't need to hear that. Because soon when they hear a couple black men say, well, I have one wife and that's all I need, they start thinking every black man is that way. And the truth of the matter is even the men who say they're that way are not that way. I know this for a fact. Because I'm privy to all types of situations, in the conscious community, outside the conscious community, just in the regular black community, across the country and across the world. I know that's not the case. Some of these same men who stand up and say, I got one wife and that's all I need, are cheating on the wife. I know this.
Yeah.
You see, so we need reality. My thing is you ain't got to say nothing in front of your wife. Just be quiet. Stop painting a false reality. Because sometimes when men speak like that, they're speaking out of a nervous energy to cover up what they're doing. Okay, but informed consent means that a black woman has a right to know whether she's going to be one of several before she decides to marry a man. What I do not agree with is secret polygamy. I do not like secret polygamy. It is dirty. It is underhanded. It is not fair to the woman because she was not given informed consent. When a woman finds out through secret that a man got another wife, that is wrong. That is wrong.
Right.
I do not condone that. And that's why I'm saying, black men, if you know that you're going to want another, put it out there. Put it out there. I'm not saying a man will always want another woman. I'm saying that at times he will. I'm not saying every man is going to want two wives at the same time for the rest of his life. But every man at some time is going to want the company of another woman. It might be for a couple years. It might be for a season. It might be for a night. It could be for a lot of different reasons. But guess what? He's going to want that and he's going to entertain that. I'm saying let us all stop lying about it and deal with it as adults. The number one symptom of mental illness is denial of reality. And by that definition, most black people in America are crazy because every day we deny reality. And there's no reality that's being denied more than the reality that every woman can have their own man.
Wow. And I want to say this from a woman's point of view, that I know that a lot of us, and I'm going to say a lot of us, I can't speak for everybody because some of y'all get butthurt if I say all women, so I'm not going to say that. But a lot of us are raised to think that sex means love. And so when we think that sex means love, we have a problem with this idea of sharing our man because we think in our mind, okay, if he's sexing her, that means he loves her. We get this idea, I wonder if he's doing it better to her. I wonder if, she's better. We just have these crazy ideas, and that's because of where we are raised and how we are raised and talking to your friends and your sisters who say, sister, he don't love you because he's looking at somebody else or he's cheating on you. And as Dr. Umar said earlier, that is not our concept. That is not our nature. Because we are village people. We come together. We're supposed to come together as a village. We're not supposed to be individualized. Now, even though we're all individuals, we are supposed to come together and work together. So if this is one way to bring us together, then this is something that we have to look at. We're not saying go out right now and jump into your woman's face and say, I want another wife because you might not make it out alive. We're not saying to do that. We're saying that this can be a solution to something that's already in place. They're already doing it. I've seen it. I know women who are going through it. They lose their mind. Some women even commit suicide when they find out that their man is with somebody else. This is a problem that we have in our community, and this is a problem that we can get over. We can rise above this because we need to be thinking about other stuff. We need to be thinking about nation building and worried about getting our children together and watching our babies from these pedophiles and, you know, watching our children from being murdered in the street. We got a bigger problem than to sit around and stay here about who is marrying who or whatever have you. So, like I said, it's not about sex. If we get this out of our mind that the first thing we think about when we say polygamy is that we're thinking about sex, then you already got a problem. Because I don't want to be with somebody and all you think about is sex when they see me for something else. So, you know, and then I can say this, I'm open to all of it. It's just that it's not for me. I would rather have polygyny than to have not polyamor. What's the other one? With the women having many husbands. Yeah, that one. That's not for me.
No,
but I'm not. Okay,
no,
I'm not going to judge you if you're doing that. But go ahead, doctor.
I'm sorry. No, people always ask that. You know, the emotional ego reaction is, well, if y'all can have more than one wife, why can't we have more than one man? This is not about individuals. It's not about individuals. It's about what's in the best interest of the society, of the community. There's not a shortage of black women. The shortage is of black men. So if you have polyandry with women being able to marry more than one husband, you know what you just did? You already got a shortage. You just exploded the shortage.
Yeah,
now you got a ratio of 1 to 7, 1 man to every 7 black women. You introduce polyandry. Now you have 1 black man to every 14 black women. Polyandry does not make sense in a society where there's a shortage of men. It only makes sense when there's a shortage of women. You are working against women by introducing polyandry when there's not a shortage of women.
Problem.
Polyandry doesn't make any common sense to our situation. Okay? Furthermore, the reason why, although it has been practiced, it has not been practiced extensively. And the other thing I want to say, too, when we talk about polygyny, we're not talking about an indefinite culture of polygamy. That needs to be discussed. Okay. We may decide that polygyny should only be practiced for 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, whatever the term limit. I don't have a problem with time-limited polygyny. Okay? Because once we fix our situation, once we come out from under white supremacy, once we have our own land, our own nation, I'm not talking about in America because I don't care how many laws you know, you ain't getting no land here. Okay? When we have our own nation, you may not no longer need that because you don't have the war on black men anymore. There's a lot of research that shows that there's not more women born into the world than men. Now, of course, there's other research that shows that it is. But then there's other research that says that it isn't. They're saying the shortage is totally human-created by virtue of war, incarceration, homicide, homosexuality. That's what's shortening the numbers. So when we're able to create our own society and put in place the type of checks and balances necessary for there to be an equal amount of men and an equal amount of women, then you don't need polygyny anymore when it's equal numbers. There's no benefit. Now it's working against the society because guess what? You got 1 man for every woman. So why do men have 2 wives? So what I'm saying is this is something we might only need to do for 20 years. We might only need to do it for 40 years. But it is something that must be done so we can balance out the equation. And I would say this. The problem is not the men. Women don't really have a problem with the men having more than one wife. That's how they phrase it to make it look like their problem is with the man. Their problem is with the woman. The problem is with her being with my man. The problem is with her being around my children. The problem is with me possibly thinking she looks better than me, thinking she might sex him better than me, thinking that my children might like her better than me. That's what it's about. The man is not the problem. It is sisters' dislike for each other, which is at the root of the polygamy opposition.
Ashe. Ashe. And those of you who are just joining us, I say welcome to ZURI Speaks. The calling number that we have here is 646-716-7572. If you want to get in on the conversation, going to open up the phone lines here in a couple of minutes. 646-716-7572. We are joined by Dr. Umar Johnson here, and we are talking about polygamy. And, wow, we got a lot to talk about, so little time. So, again, if you want to join us, you can do so right now. Make sure you press the number one to get in to talk with us. This is, we're talking about problems and solutions, okay? And so, again, we've already covered the fact that this started out being a matriarchal system. And so if it's a matriarchal system, then it's going to take the matriarchal system to fix what is going on, this problem that we have. And this problem that we have men who are, as the doctor just said, being secretive in their relationships with these women, and it's really harmful. You have children who don't know who their brothers and sisters are. You got the woman sitting around, and she's wondering where you are, who you are with, what you're doing, all this other crazy stuff, and it's just very dangerous the way we've been doing it. And if somebody thinks that, this is not the way to go, and you have a suggestion to get us out of this mess without going this route, then by all means, let us know. We're trying to figure out some solutions here. This just happened to be a solution that I think that will work, but that's me. This is a solution that some of the women who I talk to, we all think that it will work. And so that's us. But this may not be for everybody. Everybody does not have to go out and practice this. I do know that it becomes hard if you have already been married, and we've already talked about informed consent, but you've already been married, and then all of a sudden, 10 years after 10 years of marriage, you come along and say, well, by the way, babe, I just heard this radio show, and I'm thinking to go into polygamy. Well, you may have a little problem there. I don't know. I'm not in your household, but I do know if you are not with someone yet and you are going to be with that person, it would be for the best interest of you and her and the relationship if you came right out and told her up front, this is something that can possibly be in our relationship as we go on. I am thinking of doing this, and this is something that, we have to deal with or we will possibly have to do. That way she would know up front that this is on your mind. Don't go into the relationship, saying, baby, you're the only one for me. I don't think of another. I would never want another. And then 5 years down the line, all of a sudden you think that you want to try this. And so that becomes very dangerous. And, again, I'm only going by from the people that contact me and ask me what should they do. Well, hell, I don't know what you should do. You're already in it. That's something that you have to work out. But I can just say, if nothing else fails, you need to be honest. You really need to be honest, because the worst thing you can do is go into it and then get caught, and now you have a broken family. And, again, the kids that can't see each other, everybody's fighting, and some women even go crazy and try to kill the man or try to kill each other. This crazy stuff. And it's all revolved around the heart, which is connected to the sex, because they're upset that you are sleeping with somebody else. I can almost bet that if the man could not perform sex at all, she probably wouldn't have a really big issue with him wanting to take on other wives. I'm just saying, again, I don't know you all. I'm talking about what I'm thinking. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead, because we're at the top of the hour almost, we're going to go ahead and take a couple of phone calls here and see what you all have to say, and then we're going to dive right back into the conversation. Again, we are talking to Dr. Umar Johnson. So I say welcome to you all. Let me get this, if my computer work right here, because it's raining out here. We're at 414, area code 414. Please tell us where you're calling from and your first name.
Well, my name is Tisha, and I'm calling from Milwaukee.
Peace, my sister. Peace.
Peace, my sister. Peace, King. How you doing?
Peace, Queen. How's it doing?
Oh, it's going. It's going. It's definitely going now. Like the Queen said, it's been going on for a couple of weeks now, and I just want to say that I really like the way you brought to the forefront how this should be run under the matriarchal standpoint, for a woman. And I'm not talking about you feminazis out there. I'm talking about the real. I'm talking about us women who want to see balance and who do want to see a constructive change with the black woman and the black man, our family. And I want to know, I heard you say that the black man is going to have to start deprogramming himself about the way how he looks at the black woman. Can you give us, from the psychiatrist standpoint, can you give us a general idea of one of the things the black man needs to work on, as far as if he wants to practice polygyny the right way?
I think, one of the general things that I always start with when we deal with psychological reconstruction always have to say out front that I think it's difficult to do it with the 21st century Negro.